Most people believe that if a system is broken, people will leave it. They imagine collapse looks dramatic, obvious, unavoidable. But history shows the opposite. The most dangerous systems are the ones people never escape, even when they're clearly failing. And money systems are the best example of this, because once a monetary system breaks, it doesn't trap people with force. It traps them with comfort, routine, and fear. That's why even when money is losing value, debt is exploding, and trust is eroding, most people stay exactly where they are. Not because they're stupid, but because the system is designed so escape feels impossible. To understand this, you need to understand one uncomfortable truth. People don't live inside money systems. They grow up inside them. Money is learned before it's questioned. You're taught how to earn it, how to save it, how to respect it. But you're almost never taught to understand it. So when the system begins to fail, most people don't recognize danger. They recognize inconvenience. Prices rise. Life gets harder. Stress increases. But nothing snaps. And because nothing snaps, people assume nothing is wrong. This is the first trap. Broken systems don't collapse suddenly. They decay slowly. And slow decay is easy to normalize. When prices rise gradually, people adjust their expectations. When wages fall behind, people work more. When savings lose value, people invest, speculate, or take risk. Each step feels like adaptation. But adaptation is not escape. It's deeper participation. This is why broken money systems last far longer than logic suggests. Because every solution offered keeps people inside the system. Higher wages, bigger loans, new financial products, easier credit. Each one feels like relief, but relief is not freedom. It's delay. The second trap is debt. Debt doesn't just bind finances, it binds time. When someone is in debt, they're not thinking about systems. They're thinking about next month, next payment, next paycheck. Debt shrinks the future into short intervals, and when people are focused on survival, they don't rebel, they comply. This isn't accidental. Modern money systems are built on debt because debt creates obedience without force. A person with no savings and monthly obligations can't take risks. They can't pause. They can't step outside the system to question it. They must keep moving, even if the direction makes no sense. This is why escape feels unrealistic, because escape requires margin, time, savings, options. And broken systems systematically remove all three. The third trap is fear of uncertainty. Even when people sense something is wrong, they hesitate, because a broken system they understand feels safer than an unknown alternative. Staying feels rational, leaving feels reckless, so people tell themselves stories. This is temporary. This always happens. It'll stabilize. They know what they're doing. And every time the system bends without breaking, belief is reinforced. The danger is postponed. And postponed danger feels less real until it isn't. Another reason people never escape is identity. Money systems don't just shape economies, they shape status, careers, credentials, social worth. People don't just fear losing money, they fear losing who they are within the system, a title, a role, a place in the hierarchy. Leaving the system would mean questioning years of effort, admitting that the rules were flawed, that the ladder was leaning against the wrong wall. That's psychologically painful. So most people choose consistency over truth, not because it's logical, but because it's human. This is why even when systems clearly favor a small group, the majority continues to participate. Because participation feels safer than rejection, and rebellion feels lonely. The system also survives by fragmenting responsibility. No single person feels accountable. Inflation is blamed on events. Debt is blamed on policy. Crises are blamed on cycles. Everything is abstract, diffuse. No one feels like they're inside a trap. They feel like they're inside complexity. And complexity discourages action. Because if something feels too complicated, people defer to authority. Experts, institutions, officials, and authority benefits from delay. Because delay maintains control. One of the most powerful reasons people never escape is timing. By the time escape feels obvious, it feels too late. Savings are gone, assets are overpriced, options are limited. Early on, escape feels unnecessary. Later, it feels impossible. That window in between is small, and most people miss it because the system trains them not to look for exits. Education teaches participation, not independence. Careers reward obedience, not questioning. Media normalizes instability, and finance encourages risk-taking within the system, not outside it. So people move money, switch jobs, relocate cities, but they stay inside the same structure, different rooms, same building. That's not escape, that's rearrangement. And this is the final trap. Broken systems don't trap people physically. They trap them psychologically by convincing them that there is no alternative, there is no exit, there is no outside. But history proves this is false. Every system eventually changes, not because people are brave, but because belief eventually breaks, and belief always breaks after incentives stop working, when effort no longer improves outcomes, when work no longer builds security, when saving no longer preserves value. That's when people begin to question. Not before, never before. This is why understanding these traps matters. Not to panic, not to predict collapse, but to recognize behavior. Because systems don't fail when numbers break. They fail when people stop believing the story. And belief doesn't disappear overnight. It erodes, slowly, quietly, then suddenly. People don't escape broken money systems because they're lazy. They don't escape because the system is designed to feel unavoidable. But understanding the design changes how you see everything. It turns confusion into clarity, fear into awareness. And awareness is the first step toward real choice. If this video made you uncomfortable, that's a good sign. It means you're seeing the system instead of just living inside it. This channel exists to break down the hidden structures behind money, power, and collapse. Not to tell you what to do, but to help you understand the rules you're already playing by. Subscribe if you want to keep seeing the patterns most people never notice. Because the most dangerous systems aren't the ones that collapse fast. They're the ones no one ever escapes.